So, the "our time is now" slogan or tagline is really a reflection of a decision that we made very early on that goes all the way back to the MMO manifesto video that we kind of kicked off several years ago to kind of introduce people to what we're trying to do with the game. It goes back to that revolutionary feeling that we're challenging the status quo, that we don't want to do things like it's not business as usual. We actually want to shake things up and be disruptive. And that is definitely something that players have picked up from the get-go. When we introduced the MMO manifesto video, we didn't call it our MMO design vision. We consciously chose a word like manifesto that was somewhat provocative. And well, again, it was one of those things where you say a thing and then you quickly follow up with a demo. And within a couple of months, we had a demonstration that showed all the stuff that we were talking about, we're delivering on. And so that combination of provoke, cause some debate, have a bunch of people say, no, there's no way these guys are going to be able to do this or are willing to do that, and then quickly follow up with a proof point, that has been like what has built our credibility with our community. And so that whole revolutionary notion, a lot of people have tried to say, yes, our studio is revolutionary, ooh, our game is revolutionary, but we've actually demonstrated it time and time again where it mattered. So as far as how do you manage the transition between Guild Wars 1 and the Guild Wars 2 community? First off, the first thing we did was respect the fact that, there's a really strong entrenched Guild Wars community, and they're going to want to continue to play Guild Wars even after Guild Wars 2 shipped. It isn't a question of, oh, we must migrate all these Guild Wars players over to Guild Wars 2. We would love it if they play both games, and based on what we're seeing of our numbers, they're definitely doing that. But we never expected people to do that, and we never communicated anything like that. We respected that, people are going to continue to love to play the first game. But second of all, we didn't get desperate in terms of trying to cling to people and say, oh, you must stay on the game, until we ship Guild Wars 2. We completely respected that, people have other interests. They're going to want to look and see what else is out there. We're all gamers here at ArenaNet, so we're kind of like, yeah, go check it out, go see what else is out there, but realize that in a few years we're going to have a new game. We'd love for you guys to come back and check it out. And that's really the way we approached our communications with the Guild Wars community. And then lastly, as far as the one thing that we did to kind of provide an incentive for Guild Wars players to check out Guild Wars 2 was our Hall of Monuments. The Hall of Monuments is something we introduced in the last expansion pack for Guild Wars, the Eye of the North. And in it, you can basically take your achievements from the first game and log them into your Hall of Monuments, and then you'll receive all sorts of different rewards in Guild Wars 2. And that was really the only kind of hard incentive tactic that we provided for Guild Wars people to try out Guild Wars 2. Well, it's a hard question to answer because we just don't have the data. And that's something that we just launched a few weeks ago. And there's a lot of subjective things that I could say, but that's the kind of question that I would want to have a lot of, at least a couple months of data under my belt to be able to make any predictions about. I would say that our business model has definitely lent itself to to a huge amount of acquisition that otherwise, I think people would be a lot slower to do. It's much more of a no-brainer to say, oh yeah, there's no subscription fee on the back end. Yeah, I'm in. That's just like buying a single-player RPG. And to a lot of people, I think we got a lot of those customers, and I'd like to get a lot more. In terms of something you said about how quickly we'll be able to turn around content updates, it's really our design director for the game, Colin Johansson, just recently went on board and said, no, you know what? We're gonna deliver lots of frequent content to the game for free. And we think this is one of the best ways to, first of all, create customer loyalty and also create a strong franchise that is going to continue to attract people over time. So I don't believe that our business model necessarily requires you to not deliver the same pace of content as other MMOs. It's kind of interesting because we knew going into Guild Wars 2 that we were going to probably end up with a bigger community than the original Guild Wars. And as you grow in size and you broaden the reach of your community, there's always the concern that smaller communities are easier to manage. There's more intimacy, so people are generally nicer to each other. And the broader you go, there's always the concern that people are going to just start becoming jerks, and you're going to have real moderation problems and really clamp down. So we were worried that that would happen, and so our community management team made a very, very strong stand up front and say, look, we have a no jerk policy within our community. Be respectful or else. And sure, some people complained about that. And you know what? Those people will find a home on any number of third-party Guild Wars 2 community sites, and God bless them, they'll find other people who like to argue with them and have flame wars with them. But yeah, our core forum community, knock wood, has been really kind of helpful and respectful. And that's something I hoped for. I think something we all hoped for, but many of us had concerns that it wouldn't happen as as the community grew. And fortunately, it actually has. As far as how do we work with and grow our community moving forward, I would say first of all, we do not want to have crazy uncontrolled growth of the community, because I think that is one of the things that leads to community deterioration. So respectful, managed growth of the community and our player base over time is definitely a priority for us overall from a business and franchise perspective. In terms of what we want to do with the community, I think we respect that a community that loves your game and is passionate about your game wants to have platforms and outlets to express that passion. And so long-term, what we'd love to do is work on some technology solutions, some partnerships and stuff that are going to allow our community to do that and empower them to be, again, our best advocates.